Imagine you're hungry with only a few dollars to spare. You look around and see fast food chains on nearly every corner, their signs glowing with promises of meals for just $1. Burgers, fries, sodas, all within easy reach. But where's the grocery store? Where's the fresh produce? For nearly 40 million Americans, grocery stores are nowhere in sight. Instead, they live in areas known as food deserts, places where access to fresh, healthy food is severely limited. Without reliable transportation or the time to travel long distances, eating healthy becomes a luxury many can't afford. In some places, it's even worse. These areas aren't just food deserts, they're food swamps, where unhealthy food options overwhelmingly outnumber healthier choices. Fast food becomes the norm, and fresh food? Nearly impossible to find. But why do these food deserts exist? What does it mean for the people living in them? And how do dollar menus and fast food chains exploit this problem, fueling the obesity epidemic in America? The USDA defines a food desert as an area where affordable, nutritious food is out of reach. In urban settings, this means the nearest supermarket could be more than a mile away. In rural areas, that distance can exceed 10 miles. For those without a car or easy access to public transportation, getting fresh groceries becomes an exhausting and time-consuming challenge. Imagine having to take multiple buses just to buy fresh vegetables, while a fast food restaurant sits just steps from your front door. In many of these communities, it's not a matter of preference. It's about survival. People eat what's available, and what's available is often cheap, processed, and packed with empty calories. States like Mississippi, Louisiana, and Georgia are particularly affected. In cities like Memphis, Tennessee, and Atlanta, large portions of the population live in food deserts. These areas often lack supermarkets but are saturated with fast food outlets. Rural areas aren't spared either. Vast regions in states like Alaska and New Mexico make fresh food inaccessible for many residents who live more than 10 miles from a grocery store. Fast food thrives in food deserts for a simple reason. It's cheap and convenient. For a family struggling to make ends meet, feeding everyone on a tight budget means making tough choices. A fast food meal can cost as little as a few dollars, while a bag of fresh produce is often more expensive. The economics are hard to ignore. Why spend $6 on a small container of blueberries when you can buy an entire meal for less? Convenience is another major factor. In many of these communities, fast food outlets outnumber grocery stores by a staggering margin. They're easier to get to, faster to order from, and require no preparation time. An important consideration for families juggling multiple jobs and responsibilities. Then there's marketing. Fast food chains don't just rely on affordability. They aggressively target low-income families with advertising campaigns designed to make their meals seem like the best, and sometimes the only, option. From commercials aimed at children to billboards in lower-income neighborhoods, these companies know exactly where to focus their efforts. The dominance of fast food has led to a nationwide health crisis. Over 40% of U.S. adults are obese, and for those living in food deserts, the numbers are even more alarming. People who lack access to fresh, nutritious food are significantly more likely to develop chronic diseases. The link between food deserts and obesity is undeniable. Doctors report higher rates of type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and hypertension among individuals in areas where fast food is the primary food source. A 2023 study published in JAMA Oncology found a direct correlation between food deserts and obesity-related cancers. Tragically, despite consuming high-calorie diets, many individuals in these communities suffer from nutritional deficiencies. They're not getting the vitamins and minerals their bodies need, even as they gain weight from processed, high-sodium, and sugar-laden meals. There's no single solution to the problem of food deserts, but meaningful change starts with policy. Advocates are calling for expanded funding for nutrition programs, including incentives that make fresh produce more affordable for families using food assistance programs. Some cities are experimenting with taxing sugary drinks and using the revenue to subsidize healthier options, making the cost of fresh food more competitive with fast food. For example, Berkeley, California, was the first U.S. city to implement a soda tax in 2015. This 1 cent per ounce excise tax led to a 21% drop in soda sales during its first year and a 29% increase in water consumption. The revenue generated has been used to revitalize nutrition and gardening programs in schools, benefiting over 7,000 students. Similarly, Philadelphia uses nearly 40% of its sweetened beverage tax revenue to fund the city's free preschool program. These initiatives demonstrate that such taxes can reduce unhealthy beverage consumption and fund programs that promote healthier lifestyles. Beyond policy, communities are taking action. Urban farming projects have sprung up in cities across the country, transforming vacant lots into thriving gardens that provide fresh produce to local residents. Mobile grocery stores are bringing healthy food directly to food desert neighborhoods, making nutritious options just as accessible as fast food. In schools, meal programs are shifting toward healthier offerings, ensuring that children are exposed to balanced diets from an early age. In cities like Atlanta and Memphis, these grassroots efforts are already making a difference, proving that food deserts aren't an inevitable part of life. They can be changed. But change can't just come from the community. Fast food corporations need to take responsibility as well. Instead of pushing high-calorie, nutrient-poor meals, they have the power to provide healthier alternatives at affordable prices. Some chains have already begun adding better options to their menus, but these options remain significantly more expensive than traditional fast food. A grilled chicken salad or a fruit cup often costs 2 or 3 times more than a burger or fries. If these companies can sell a cheeseburger for $1, why can't they offer a fresh, nutritious meal at the same price? Marketing plays a huge role as well. These corporations continue to aggressively target low-income communities, prioritizing profits over public health. Children in particular are bombarded with advertisements for sugary, processed foods, making unhealthy eating habits even more deeply ingrained. If we're serious about addressing food deserts and obesity, we need to hold fast food companies accountable, not just for what they serve, but for how they market their products to vulnerable communities. The food desert crisis isn't unique to the United States. Other nations have faced similar challenges, but some have found solutions that are making a real difference. In the United Kingdom, the government has introduced Healthy Start vouchers, which provide low-income families with financial assistance specifically for purchasing fresh fruits, vegetables, and milk. By making healthy food more affordable, they're ensuring that economic status isn't a barrier to good nutrition. France has taken a different approach, implementing strict regulations on supermarket waste. Large grocery stores are legally required to donate unsold edible food to charities instead of discarding it. This policy not only reduces food waste, but also helps food-insecure communities access nutritious meals. Meanwhile, Japan has prioritized urban agriculture, turning unused city spaces into small-scale farms and hydroponic gardens. Supermarkets are also legally bound to provide balanced meal options, making it easier for citizens to access healthy food no matter where they live. These initiatives show that food deserts are solvable. It takes a mix of government policy, corporate accountability, and community-driven action to ensure that access to fresh, affordable food isn't determined by income or zip code. This issue isn't just about health, it's about equity. The right to fresh, nutritious food should not be a privilege reserved for those who can afford it. It's a basic human right that every person deserves. Change starts with awareness, and action begins with each of us. Supporting local food initiatives, advocating for better policies, and making healthier choices whenever possible can all contribute to the fight against food deserts. If this video has opened your eyes to the reality of food inequality, share it. Spread awareness. Because food isn't just fuel, it's the foundation of a healthier future for all of us.